Hey everybody, Jam Creates here. Just wanted to do a quick little video here. Yeah, I kind of said it. Another video here. I wanted to follow up on the video I just did. Oh, jeez. Where I recently did a video about 90s hate and hate for like the 90s art style and all that stuff. And then I did another video talking about where are all the rock stars in comic books nowadays, and they're not in the mainstream. And so I wanted to do another video where I just kind of presented that question before, but now I'd like to actually answer that question. The only place I'm seeing really like envelope pushing crazy art that's like you can look at art and know whose it is in the independent comic space. That's where I'm seeing the guys who are really pushing the envelope. Now, some of these guys are old. I don't want to say old, but they're professionals. They're long-standing professionals. They've been in the business for a while, for years and years in some cases. But they have a really cool style. And so you're not seeing it in the mainstream, though. And that's where I want to talk about, like, where are we seeing this stuff? The stuff that's pushing the envelope, the stuff that's trying new things and all that. It's in the independent space. And when I'm talking about the independent space, I'm not so much talking about Image Comics, although there are some books there that are doing some nice stuff from an art perspective. Where I'm really seeing it is in one place where you could definitely see a unique art style is Alterna Comics. Not from everything that they do. Some of their stuff is pretty standard, what you would call, I guess, like standard art. But some of the stuff, in particular, something like Blood Realm. Blood Realm has a completely unique art style. It doesn't look like... Ugh. Sorry about that. Sneeze. Anyway, Blood Realm by Robert Geronimo from Alterna Comics has a very unique art style. It tries something different. It's all black and white and red, which I know has been done before, but it's black and white and red, and it's not a cheesy joke about being black and white and red all over. And it's got a really unique kind of style. It has this sort of like old-timey, weird, otherworldly sort of style to it, which is, it's cool. It's definitely a unique style, and you might like it, you might not like it. That's fine. But the other place where I'm really seeing people push the envelope, and I'm seeing really like, and I don't just mean something that has to be super weird and unique, like in a weird way. I just mean stuff that really pushes it, stuff that pushes the envelope in terms of dynamic drawing and dynamic poses and action and things like that, because a lot of the stuff that you're seeing in mainstream comics now is so blah. It's just not, there's no energy to it. Where I'm seeing the most energy is from the indie scene in like Indiegogo. The books that are on Indiegogo, you're seeing a level of art and you're seeing uniqueness of art. I mean, you can take a look at something like what Kelsey Shannon does. And what Kelsey Shannon does, you can look at his art and you can know that that's his art. And what he does and what John Malin does are two totally different things, but they're both cool. They're just cool in their own way. And it's the same thing if you want to look at what Ethan Van Sciver does. Like, you look at his pages he's been putting out there for the upcoming Cyberfrog book. Those things are insane. The amount of detail this dude puts into every panel is redonkulous. And, like, he's killing it. And he's incredibly dynamic with his poses and everything. And yet he has this incredible amount of detail. And then you've got a guy like Doug TenNapel, who's got Bigfoot Bill on the way. And if you look at Bigfoot Bill, the pages and the things that he's put out from there, it's a very different looking book. It doesn't look anything like those other books I mentioned. It's completely cartoony and, silly looking, but at the same time, it's got incredible movement to the artwork. There's dynamism to the artwork, and it looks unique. You look at that and you go, oh, that's Doug TenNaples' work. You just know it when you see it. It's easy to see. And then you've got other people like Mike S. Miller. Everything he does is super clean. The lines that this man draws are so clean, it's disgusting. Like, it's insane how clean this guy makes his lines. And you look at Lone Star and the pages that he's put out, the images that he's put out for Lone Star, and they're ridiculous. Like, they're unbelievable. The amount of just how he's like a draftsman, and yet his book has dynamism to it. You know, the action is dynamic. And look at another one that looks completely different. Brutus the Badass, Donald DeLay doing the art on that one. Completely different. Doesn't look like any of those other books at all. It reminds me of like Simon Beasley and Lobo. Like, that's what it reminds me of. If I had to like try to describe it, it definitely reminds me of like a Lobo style, and it's totally different. Completely dynamic, a lot of energy, a lot of action, over the top. You know, big beefy dudes But you see I've seen like other panels, and you see like expressions on people's faces, great facial acting. And then there's something like Sovereign. Sovereign by Andrew Huerta looks like nothing else on the planet. That book looks insane. It looks like I saw his artwork, and I tweeted at him once, actually. And I kind of hate when people say, oh, I tweeted this the other day. Did you see what I tweeted? Oh, I tweeted at this guy. Like, I don't know. It's just something really pretentious about that. But I know I just said it. Whatever. It's part of today's lexicon. That's it. His stuff, I tweeted at him one time because he was posting all this stuff before he even started his campaign. And I said, I don't know what it is, but every picture you draw looks like the character is about to move and do something awesome. Because that's how his art looks. His art, even if it's just a character standing still, has this insane energy to it. It's incredibly unique, and you might hate it. You might look at it and go, oh, I don't like that at all. And that's fine. You're allowed to say that. But I look at it and I just see energy. There's just mad energy in everything that man draws, and it looks like it's just crackling with energy. Like it's literally just going to explode in your hands. Like, it's crazy. And this is what I'm talking about. All these guys have a unique style. You're seeing unique stuff out of all these people. Every one of these books looks totally different from the other. There's no like cookie cutter, this is what they all look like. They don't look like they just, traced over a 3D model. They don't look like advertising art or anything like that. They don't all look like, some weird Cal Arts cartoon or anything like that. They're all unique. These people brought their own style. And this is what's going to make them the rock stars of now. And none of them are working at the big two. And it's not because of their art skills, I'll tell you that. And that's a whole nother issue that I'm not going to get into here as to why they're not working there. But I'm sorry, when I look at the cover of like the latest X-Men book, and it's just blah, here's a bunch of people standing around. I drew each one separately digitally, and then I took Photoshop and I put them all together. It's just it looks blah. It looks boring. Everyone's just looking at you. Every cover is just a bunch of people staring out of the cover, like at the reader. And they don't even look like, I don't mind a cover where somebody's like looking out at me, the reader, if they look like they want to kick my ass. Like, I know that sounds silly, but like, it's the truth. Like, I want to see badass comic book heroes. Like, that's what I want to see. And that's not what we're getting out of the big two right now. DC does a better job. Their art, for the most part, I feel like has a little bit more, but they definitely have sort of a homogeneous style of, this is a DC book. This is what DC books look like. Now, a lot of that seems to be based on Jim Lee's art, so I don't really have too much of a problem with that, because I love Jim Lee's art. As I mentioned in another video, he is probably my favorite artist. He's definitely like my favorite of the ones who broke out of the Image group. So anyway, just a quick video. I was talking about these are the current rock stars that are out there, and they don't work at the big two. And I think that's an issue. If you're the big two, what are you doing? Spend some money to hire some talent and let people, or even the talent you have. Maybe you're just holding back the next rock stars because you're afraid of them becoming too popular. I don't know. Or maybe it's because you feel like, no, this is how we do things now. But dude, let people be free. Let them express themselves. That's what makes comic books so great, is it's literally artists expressing themselves on every page and making a character feel fresh. If everything looks the same and feels the same from now until the end of time, that's boring. People are going to get bored. I loved reading Spider-Man for years and years, for decades, because we went through different artists. You know, we had the McFarlane era, and then I love Mark Bagley's art. I thought Mark Bagley's Amazing Spider-Man run was fantastic. I love that run. I loved his Venom. I loved his Carnage. I loved his Spider-Man. I loved his Peter Parker. I love Mark Bagley's art. I always have. And I just don't get it. Like, why isn't there more of this going on? And there is, but you have to look for it. You've got to go to Kickstarter if you want to get Brian Pulido's Lady Death and that kind of stuff. You've got to go elsewhere to get that stuff. You can't get it from the big two. You've got to go elsewhere to find this stuff. You've got to go to Alterna to see different styles of comic. You've got to go to Indiegogo and find these guys who are taking risks and doing their own projects and hoping to get enough money to make these projects. And, you know, a lot of them have been very successful, which is great. But this is what I want to see. I don't want all my comics to look the same. I don't. That's boring. Comic books are fun when they all look different. Why do you think, like, people made such a big deal about Alex Ross when he first came on the scene? Who were those? There was the brothers. I forgot their name. I totally forgot. Please tell me in the comments. The brothers that did the painterly style. They did a bunch of the cards, the Marvel cards and stuff. But when, like, painters came on the scene, that was like a huge deal because it was something we had never seen before in comics. And so it was really cool to see it for the first time. That's what I'm talking about. Give me cool stuff. I want cool stuff. That's all the comic book fans want. They want cool stuff. And what you think is cool and what I think is cool might be different, but that's okay, because I'll buy the stuff I think is cool. You'll buy the stuff you think is cool. And you know what? There's enough me's and enough you's out there that both of them will be successful. That's how it should work. It's not everybody thinks the same thing is cool, because that's not how it is. So anyway, there's where I think my rock stars are. If you agree with me, awesome. Let me know. If you know others that, like, maybe I don't know of, that are hitting in the indie scene, maybe they're doing their own crowdfunding, let me know, because I would love to know. That's where I'm going for my comic fix now. Is I'm going to Alterna. I'm going to crowdfunding sites to get my comic book fix. Honorable mention, by the way, as far as, like, dynamism in the art goes to the manga people. The only problem with manga is most of it looks the same. There are some, don't get me wrong, don't scream at me, manga fans. I like manga too, but a lot of it does look the same. It's all kind of based on that one model, but there is a lot of great dynamic art in the manga scene. So anyway, if you like this video, let me know. Give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs up anyway, because, like, that would be nice. And you should do at least one nice thing per day. So that could be your one selfless act, is give me a thumbs up even if you don't like my video. So anyway, that's it. Like the channel, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications so you won't miss anything. You can also subscribe to me on BitChute. Shout out to all my BitChuters. I don't know what that was, but thank you guys, because BitChute gets me lots of views, so that's cool. I like that. Follow me on Twitter. I'm at jam_creates. I'm on Instagram. I'm on the gram, yo. Jam_creates on there as well. I'm on Minds Jam Creates. I'm on Vero Jam Creates. I'm everywhere, yo. All right, so anyway, that's it. I'm getting, like, a little loopy here, so I'm going to go and have some dinner, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Probably tomorrow, because I pretty much do a video every single day. So that's it. Peace out, Cub Scout.